Do you know what makes rainy days so much better? That will be OpusX cigars, and being able to have the chance to smoke in your car, that is pretty awesome. And I gotta give a massive thank you to the rain guards that I put on the car, so we can actually have the windows down a little bit and smoke a cigar. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be smoking this little beauty right here. This is the Arturo Fuente OpusX Oscuro Oro Belicoso XXX. So yeah, this is a little guy right here, but don't let the size fool you. This is the Oscuro Oro we're dealing with here right now. And this is one of the like darker cigars in the OpusX line that you'll see. You know, unless you're smoking something like a OpusX Maduro BBMF or something like that. This is as dark as you're usually going to see at most cigar shops that will have OpusX cigars. So funny enough, we've smoked a lot of cigars through the years, and I've smoked this blend a few times already. The funny thing is that I can never find the same size that I smoke, and that's because OpusX cigars are getting harder and harder to get in the retail stores. Even the guys that already have accounts with them, it's tough to get this stuff. So then you end up getting all these weird sizes when a shipment does come in. Like, I'm pretty sure the last time I smoked this cigar, it was in the number 4. Was it Perfection number 4? Something like that. So, and I think it's been a long time since I've had it in the Belicoso. So we're just going to cut it with a little Zycar cutter here. Made a nice little cut. And then we'll adjust it if we need better draw, but I think for right now we should be pretty good. As for lighting the cigar, I'm gonna go ahead with like a little jet, and then we'll do a couple puffs with a soft flame, just to kind of seal the deal, as I always say. Something about an OpusX just always hits the spot. Let's kind of let this thing breathe, do a little bit, and then we'll take a little deep dive into the blend, where it's from, all that fun stuff. So this is how far we are with the cigar. What I thought was kind of interesting was I did have to touch it up just a little bit. And that kind of leads into a whole other discussion about whether you think OpusX cigars were a lot better like 7 years ago. I mean, why I bring this up is because when I was actually buying this cigar, somebody asked me, they were like, you know, what do you think about it? Do you think like, are they smoking good now? That was their words. And I started thinking about it. I was like, damn, so much has changed in 7 years. I mean, yeah, 7 years is a long time, but like, I remember when I was buying these cigars for, I don't know, 12, 15 bucks. Maybe not this specific one, but I remember the Lost Cities, I think, were like, you know, somewhere around that price. And now those cigars are like high 20s, 30s, you know, depending on where you're at. And then I started thinking about, yeah, like when these cigars were coming out around that time period, they were smoking incredible. Nowadays, you hear both sides of things. You hear people saying, oh yeah, I love the blend, I love the size, I love the burns, they're amazing. And then you got the other half of the people that are like, every time I light up an OpusX, it always canoes on me, or I just don't get a good burn. And I think in this case, why I had to touch up the cigar, I think it could use a little bit more humidity, and that one would fall onto the shop owner. You know, his humidor is good, but it can be better. You know, so I think that's just kind of where that one is. But so far, you know, besides having to do that little touch up, it's not too horrible. I've seen better, but it's not too horrible. At the end of the day, it's an OpusX. It's got really good flavors, which are a bunch of spices you'll get leather, you'll get some pepper, you'll get a ton of cedar. This is going to be a little bit more robust compared to some of those other OpusX cigars. But it's a classic. You can't go wrong with it, unless you're really not into that intensity there. But I love that beautiful smoke. You're still getting a pretty decent burn. This thing is all Dominican tobacco. If you guys are unfamiliar with the blend, the tobacco comes from Chateau de la Fuente in the Dominican Republic, and it is considered a puro. So it's all Dominican binder, filler, wrapper, the whole 9 yards. But the wrapper is a little bit more on the famous side, is this beautiful Rosado Oscuro shade wrapper. So that's kind of like the star of the show. That's what kind of gave the whole cigar the name and the look and everything. I think now I'm going to cruise around, keep on puffing away with this thing. And once we get closer to that secondary band, we'll talk a little bit more about the cigar. But it's really now just talking about the flavors. We're still met with all those little mixes of spice, almost like a cayenne spice, and leather, and the pepper, you don't really get it as much, but there's just that cedar and spice. Something that Fuente has pretty much mastered with a lot of their cigars, is how to incorporate those flavor notes to be so recognizable. We have finally made it over here to that secondary label, and I am just so happy that we've got a pretty decent burn now going. It just looks great, especially when you're smoking a $40-some cigar, and it's, thankfully the actual smoke has enough humidity, so I'm happy about that one as well. Nothing sucks more when you pay a lot of money for a cigar, light it up, and then it starts cracking, and then it starts doing this and that and all that stuff. But look at that, the classic OpusX labels. My God, they really know how to do their presentation, and wow, absolutely beautiful. As far as the smoke, still getting those delicious, spicy leather and cedar notes. Doesn't change too much, and that's really not a bad thing. There's some like Davidoffs out there that they're really known for the transition of flavors, and some other cigars out there too. But sometimes you just can't go wrong when you have a good flavor profile like this cigar has, and just enjoy that for the whole duration of the smoke. Can't go wrong with it at all. Probably because I know the cigar is not going to change drastically. I'm probably going to go cruise around a little bit more. It's been a rainy day over here, and it looks like it wants to start raining again. And I got to go make some phone calls and all that fun stuff. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want to do. It definitely supports me, definitely helps me out. I truly appreciate you guys watching this video. And comment down below some other cigars you think that I should try. Is there any new stuff out there that you really enjoy lately? Let me know, and I'm going to try to find those cigars to do a review on them. And like that, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.